What's up, YouTube? This is Black Betty Rambalam coming at you. Want to do a quick little video about the Ram 1500 EcoDiesel, which is what I have. Some things that I kind of learned after I bought the truck. I didn't do a whole lot of research beforehand. It was kind of an impulse buy. Couple quick things. So when I bought this, I didn't necessarily want the Hemi, so I wanted better mileage. I was under the impression it was going to get better mileage. From what I've seen, I seem to do better on my mileage than most of the other Hemis out there. Some Cummins beat me. It is what it is. Essentially, stock. Same tire, like tires from the factory, no lifts, no spacers, no nothing. I was rolling about, if I was on the freeway, set my cruise for 65, I would be up at about that 32 range, 28 to 32, depending on what I was doing. Around town, I was pulling 20 to 24, just depending on how much stop and go and how hard I hit the throttle. And this is all based off of the computer. I didn't do special calculations and whatnot to get exact numbers, but that was about what I was getting. After I wore through the factory tires, I knew I wanted to go bigger. I wanted to go with an all-terrain tire, so I ended up putting on Cooper Discovery AT3 XLTs. The size on those that I put on are 35s by 12.5 by 20s. Now, if you're going to ask, did I have to lift or spacer or trim or all that stuff? Yes. I still get some rubbing, and I will do a whole video on putting on those bigger tires, because you go and post a poll on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you ask around, you're gonna get the same result that I did, which is no, you can run that stock, bone stock, you're fine. You're gonna get, oh, you gotta do all this or that, yada yada yada. I did my own research. I'll give you the scoop. I'll do it in another video. But when I put those tires on, or before I put those tires on, if I was rolling at about 80, 85, my mileage was down in the mid to low 20s, rolling on the freeway, it's cruise set. When I put the bigger tires on, my mileage took a hit. Not the worst hit I've seen, but also it was not the most friendly thing out there. Rolling at about 65, on cruise, on flat terrain, on the freeway, I'd say I was at about 24, 26. Somewhere in there. Around town, 18 to 20. Driving responsibly. Now, if you have a lead foot like me, and you like to be the first person off the line, and you get to your destination, because every second counts, your mileage is going to be not quite what you were hoping for. My mileage went down to, or if I'm rolling 60, or let's just say 80, mileage is going to be down around 14 to 16. Not great. But if you can keep it, if you can control yourself, keep to 60, 65. You're up 19, 20, 21, 22 maybe. Around town, you're going to be doing low 20s. 22, 24, about. Okay? So, that was the first thing that I learned about the EcoDiesel is mileage. Second thing I learned and discovered, if you hammer down on the throttle because you want to take off at the light, or you want to just go, you want to send it, you're going to sit there and sit there and sit there. Okay? Because your turbo is dismal. It will not spool up, and you're just going to sit there. You're going to get people honking at you, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, I've wrecked my truck. What have I done? What I've learned, go into it, that gives your turbo a chance to spool up. Once the turbo spools, you lurch forward, and I'm not going to say like a full-bore muscle car with a supercharger or whatever, but you definitely are going to scoot, and you're going to jettison everything in the little cubbies up front and your back seat. Anything that's not secured, you're going to jettison it back. Something I learned. Now, what I've heard, rumor has it, that a throttle control like a pedal commander, an iDrive or 9Drive or 9Line, whatever that one is, I heard that takes care of it. If you bump it up into the sport modes, that takes care of it. I don't have one of those yet. Pedal commander, iDrive, 9Drive, Line Drive. If y'all see this, more than happy for a sponsorship. Just gonna plug that there real quick. But I've heard that helps from different reviews on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatnot. Another thing I've learned about this is about the EcoDiesel. In my research, what I did a little bit before and primarily afterward is the issues that I see are in the 17s and older. So I think they came out in the 13 or 14, 15, 16, 17. Lots of issues from what I've seen. Intercoolers, EGR system, the whole 9 yards. Exhaust manifolds, intake manifolds. That's where I see a lot of the issues. I don't see a whole lot in the 18s. So this is an 18. I don't see a whole lot of issues. The other thing that I've noticed that helps that a lot with those older models is a delete and tune. Now, with those delete and tunes, those are illegal, especially in the People's Republic of California here, but also EPA. They're not happy about deletes and tunes. So, real quick, if you don't know what a delete and tune is, Google it. But essentially, your exhaust goes out, has additives added to it, and cycled right back through your engine. I'm not a fan of this. Anyway, I don't have a delete and tune. I have 59,664 miles on my truck. I haven't had any issues. Down the road, I'd like to, but I also don't want to deal with the EPA. I don't want to get pulled over. I don't want to deal with smog and there being an issue with that, and I don't want to have to keep switching my equipment back and forth. I did have a buddy tell me that you can do a delete and tune, and if you're worried about the time and effort and whatnot to swap your equipment back and forth, don't take all your equipment out. Just basically leave all your connections or your equipment in there. Just disconnect the system. Haven't done it. Like I said, if down the road I do it, I'll let y'all know. So anyway, those are things I've learned. This truck has lots of torque. Going up a hill, you're going up a hill, you're not going to have this major deficit in your fuel mileage, especially if you're going slow. I cruised up and over the mountains, and my mileage stayed glorious. A lot better than others that were in my truck club when we went on that meet and cruise. When hauling, you're not going to notice that you got something back there. I've towed Polaris side-by-sides. I've towed big industrial brush chippers, big like augers and whatnot. I've also towed a couple of U-Haul trailers packed to the gills from San Diego up and over the Grapevine to Northern California, north of Sacramento. My mileage average was 16 the whole way, so I just set my mileage and just let it go. So it's not bad there. A lot of torque, One thing that is kind of a little odd in my book is if you pull up to a curb. So like for me, if I want to take my truck and pull it into my carport to do a detail on it, I gotta go up over a curb, across my lawn, and up onto concrete slab. What is kind of weird is if I roll up and I stop at the curb and then I try and go up, because I don't want to hit that curb with my tires, just don't want to. There's a lot of drama in getting up on that curb. A lot of noise, it gets all angry. So there's that. Just, if you don't care about that, you're fine. The truck does just fine getting up and over that curb. It just makes a lot of drama about it. The other little thing that I learned about this truck when I bought it was, when I was younger, my big thing was I loved a loud, obnoxious vehicle. I still like to have a little bit of sound. This is very quiet. It is great for long trips. There's no drone. You don't even hear the engine. You can have pretty much a whispering conversation with the person next to you, and you're not going to be interfered by the engine. I deleted my turbo baffle, so essentially in your intake, after your filter and before your turbo, there's a baffle in there. You can pull that out. I pulled mine out. All it does is it makes the turbo whistle a little bit louder and the hiss a little bit louder, and you can hear it for longer. So instead of it getting too quiet for you to hear, you can actually hear it a little bit. There are videos out there, like 2 or 3, because not a whole lot of people do it, on how to remove that. Nothing against those people, but they put way too much effort into it and put way too much work into it. It's a real simple thing. I'll probably do a video on it, or if I can find it in my phone, I did a video, I'll post that up. But anyway, I was a little disappointed when I bought this, because I thought I'll just do a muffler and resonator delete. That'll be great. From all the reviews I've read, the YouTube videos I've seen, all that is weight reduction. There's no change in your sound, from what I've heard. I haven't done it. So, just kind of keep that in mind. The last big thing that I noticed that I wasn't a super huge fan of with this truck, and that kind of caught me off guard, was the price of the oil changes. So, when I bought this, I ended up getting a lifetime powertrain warranty. I got to keep that as long as I went to an approved oil change place, and basically the dealership. I haven't tried to go somewhere else, but at the dealership they said, or my thing was, you got 5 free oil changes. Apparently when it comes from the factory, that's considered the first oil change. Whatever. So you do it every 10,000 miles. I had my first oil change, and I was reading the little board of the price of the oil changes, and a Hemi or a regular oil change is like $40-50. Cummins rolls in at about $80-85. This son of a gun, $180-190. One place was charging $210. I said, oh no, I'll go to another dealership. So just keep that in mind. The reason for that is it's a fully synthetic oil that it uses, and then the oil filter is really tedious to get to, and then the the amount of oil that it uses. So that is something to keep in mind. If you don't care about the powertrain warranty and you want to do it yourself, just know that it's a pain to get to the oil filter. I think I saw that you have to remove a couple other parts to get to the oil filter. So I mentioned the negative things, some positive things in there. Now, would I buy this again? I don't know. There are a lot of benefits to this truck and the EcoDiesel engine. The mileage is great. It has plenty of torque, plenty of horsepower. I mean, it's not the most horsepower out there, but it's pretty dang impressive. It scoots. If I was going to buy it again, I'd probably go with a 2500 Cummins. There are a lot of parts for the Cummins, not a ton for the EcoDiesel. You can do a whole lot more with those engines than you can with this guy. Now, if somebody offered me a swap, somebody came to me and said, hey, I got a 2500 or 3500 dually, same color, same trim package, I have the Lone Star and whatnot, you want it? No, I wouldn't trade it. I love it. It's a comfortable ride. It's a great truck. I wouldn't get rid of it. Buy it again? I don't know. But those are my thoughts on the EcoDiesel. I don't know what it's like in the Grand Cherokees. I don't know what it's like in the 2020s. From what I've heard, they're good. That's all I got on the EcoDiesel. If you have any questions, if it's something that I know the answer to, I'll answer. If not, I'll straight up tell you I haven't experienced that yet. So, have a good one, and subscribe.